It's been 4 years since footballer David Cox hit news headlines with his battle against depression. Today I've come to his Motherwell gym, where I'll be finding out what's changed and are we any closer to ending the stigma of mental health. So it's been 4 years since you went public with your mental health issues, but I believe it dates back to the age of about 15. Mm-hmm. Was there any one thing when you look back to that time that triggered it?
No. I think I've kind of sat down and I've tried to work out like how things might have came about and stuff that happened when I was younger and things like that. But I don't think there was one thing that kind of triggered it at that age. I think just an accumulation of things happening, and the way I dealt with it at the time, I used to always be anger and stuff like that, and I would always like be punching things in the house and stuff like that, and then it just turned into like even more stuff. So I would punish myself for doing that, and it started with the self-harming and that kind of thing. So no, I don't think there was one thing, but it just kind of quickly got out of control.
You've been very honest about self-harming. Like, take me to that moment when you're sat down ready to do something like that for the first time. What is going through your mind?
It's hard to explain. Something just happens, kind of like that. It's what people might call like impulsive and stuff like that. But when you're in such a kind of fragile state or feeling so bad, do you know what I mean? You just, for me, the only thing that would kind of take the pain away was if I cut myself or something like that, and I'd kind of get a release from it, do you know what I mean? But then again, obviously after it, you're left with scars and you're like, oh, why have I done this? Or, do you know what I mean? That kind of thing. And it's just a vicious circle because you want to stop that, but you don't know how to deal with your feelings. And it was quite hard, especially at a young age, because I was obviously looking to go professional at the time when I left school and that, and you tried to hide it back then for like the boys and around at school and that kind of thing, so it was tough. And I think obviously, 10 years ago, it wasn't spoke about as much as it is now, and there wasn't as much help out there for younger people and stuff like that, so it was difficult.
How often did you have to hide those scars? Were you almost embarrassed of it or ashamed of it? Did people spot it?
It was hard to hide them, obviously, because I would cut my forearms and stuff like that. And people at school, like teachers, would ask, and I'd have to get like my mum and my dad to phone and just explain what had happened. And but you would try and hide it for obviously your schoolmates and stuff like that. And if they kind of asked it, it was a wee bit awkward. Do you know what I mean? You might end up telling them, but it was always almost as though like just kind of keep it in the quiet, don't let anybody else know, kind of thing. But it just became such a regular thing that was happening. Do you know what I mean? It was hard to hide it.
You've spoken in the past as well about the effects of being released by Kilmarnock. Is that something that clubs need to be wary of, the impact that they're having on young guys in particular, that they can't just sort of chuck them to the side? There maybe needs to be a bit of aftercare as such there?
No, definitely. That was massive for me. I was initially released, and then I continued to go in and train and just done what I'd done, and I think they kind of looked at it as though, well, we've not really, like, he's so determined, do you know what I mean, to get something out of this, and I never let it affect me. I never got my head down and was really worrying about it or that. I just went in and done what I usually done for the next 3 months and stuff like that, and then eventually they offered me a contract. But at the end of the 6 months, it was just a case of, oh, we can't afford to keep you. Then it's not even that, like, just some clubs are just not even honest. It's just a case of, like, we don't want you, but they leave you with nothing. Do you know what I mean? They take you for 16. I've done my standard grades at school. I could have stayed on and done hires, but as a young boy, you want to leave school and you chase your dream of playing professional football. And then at the end of it, you've no real life experience in any jobs or anything like that. You have no qualifications to walk into anything else. Do you know what I mean?
Did you see football at that time as your escape from the problems that you were suffering in the background?
I think a lot of it gave me a lot of the kind of problems as well. It was hard because when I was 16, or 15, 16, I was playing in the reserves. I was doing really well and stuff like that. And then I went through like a year and a half of just like really bad injuries, or I was in a car crash, I had a double hernia operation, I broke my thumb, I broke my wrist, do you know what I mean? So I was just out out constant. And when I come back, and I'd also fractured my knee when I come back for that, I just wasn't the same, and I was always picking up wee niggles and stuff like that. And for being so close, for being playing regular football and the reserves when you're 15 and stuff like that, you're not really getting a game every week and stuff like that now, even the 19s, it takes its effect, you know, it's hard to kind of deal with. So again, I would just get myself upset and angry that I wasn't playing, and it's just, everything just snowballs. Always, just, as I say, just that vicious circle, just, it didn't matter what happened, I was always kind of going back to that bad place. And football wasn't, I wasn't using it as a release anymore, because I'm fighting for a contract, do you know what I mean? So it's as though the fun was kind of taken away from it, because you're actually fighting for the job, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's stressful.
So when you're going through these issues in the background and you're fighting for that contract, and then all of a sudden that falls apart, does it really feel like they have killed the dream almost? Like, how do you pick yourself up from that?
I think when I initially get released, I was told, like, we'll speak to clubs, we'll get them to come and watch you for the remaining games and stuff like that. And I remember the manager saying to us, oh, such and such is coming to this game. We played at Airdrie, when they still had the grass pitch. We played Celtic in the reserves. And it was like big Bobo Baldy that was playing, and there was just some really big names and stuff like that. And I honestly, I had the best game of my life.
Did you take him on?
No, he was a bit too big for me. He
was a monster.
He's a big boy.
Monster.
Big boy. But honestly, I had the game of my life, and then to find out like there was nobody there, there was nobody watching, kind of thing. You're just like, why the clubs?
Did they just tell you that to make you feel better?
I think it is,
like, just to kind of.
It's as though to take it away from them. I mean, they'll tell you they're coming and watching, but if nothing comes of it, then you must not have played as well, or you must not be somebody they're looking for, kind of thing. It's as though that they're just passing the buck, kind of thing, and it's bad because, as I say, you're left with nothing. Do you know what I mean? Like, you go for a full-time wage to nothing. You're trying to find a job, a part-time team, or even to try and stay full-time. It's hard.
And in Scotland, that's quite a big deal, you know, the curse of the one-year contracts and all that. Mm-hmm. Has that changed at all with people getting released, whether it's young players or older players? I mean, obviously that was about 10 years ago now that you were released by Kilmarnock. Is it still the same old story?
I'm not sure, to be quite honest, but I think back then, I think now obviously with the state of Scottish football and money and stuff like that, they're having to bring youngsters through and play them and get them in and stuff like that. Whereas back then they wanted to bring in experienced players, and I remember when I was trying to get in the first team, I was always on the bench every week and stuff like that in the squad, and it was the likes of like Kevin Kyle and stuff like that, and they wanted to bring in these experienced players because Kilmarnock were fighting for relegation at the time. And that's what I was told, pulled to the side, we can't afford to keep you, we need to bring in experienced players. Do you know what I mean? But now they're having to use young boys because they've not got the money to pay for your bigger names and stuff like that as well. And they're getting, maybe they're bringing in younger managers who are wanting boys to advance for boys club, for the pro youth team, to a professional level, and then maybe move them on for there. Do you know what I mean?
What sort of awareness was there about mental health back at that time? I know we're only talking 10 years ago, but you know, there's been a lot of progression even just in the last sort of year or two in society. But what was it like back then? Was there any older players that maybe were looking out for the younger boys or the club in general?
Not that I remember, and not a lot of help at all, to be quite honest. I think a lot of mine was just put down to, like, if people seen me, it was just maybe angry Coxie. Do you know what I mean? That's what it is. But
I hear that even now.
I'm just very passionate about playing and stuff like that. But
a few shins have felt your passion.
But I think people would never understood then, and especially for a young boy, do you know what I mean? They wouldn't be like, there's always that, what have you got to be depressed about? What have you got to be worried about? Do you know what I mean? You're a young boy, you're playing professional football, and people think you're making crazy money in that, but certainly in Scotland, that's not the case, do you know what I mean? So I think back then it was never really thought about in as much as it is today, do you know what I mean? And obviously the more things that are happening these days, there's a bit more there to help younger boys and try and, I'll just say for instance, when I was younger, like, I think we'd done like one day at college a week on a Wednesday. I think it was the day we were off, so if you weren't at training you had to go to college. Most boys never went, to be fair, and that was what they wanted, was for you to fall back on something Do you know what I mean? Get us a qualification while you're playing. But it wasn't set up the best. As I say, boys weren't going and stuff like that. Maybe managers weren't following up to see if they were going. Whereas now they've got loads of different things in place where you can get qualifications while you're still playing and stuff like that. But it's just better set up, and I mean, it'll be part of your contract. You need to go and do this kind of stuff as well. Do you know what I mean? So, in the PFA, they're trying to put a lot more on workshops and things like that, and even for players obviously at my age and who are finishing their careers, giving them something to fall back on before they finish their career. Do you know what I mean? But back then it was, I don't think there was much at all. Certainly not for me. Do you know what I mean? I never felt that there was anything I could really have done.
Is that a scary prospect for players in general? Obviously, you're still a young man, but you're you're approaching the kind of twilight years of your career. Mm-hmm. Is it regrettable that it is such a short career?
Aye, massive. And the thing is, like my career could end tomorrow. Do you know what I mean? For a lot of players that have played at a decent level, or maybe, as I was saying, especially in Scotland, they've maybe get through a career, do you know what I mean? And they're kind of comfortable with it now. But if they stop, do you know what I mean? They're still going to need a wage coming in and stuff like that. And some of them have got zero experience in doing anything other than playing football. If they don't go into coaching straight away, then what they're going to do, kind of thing. Do you know what I mean? And the amount of players that over the past few years that I've seen, I don't know what I'm going to do with myself. I'm going to go and do this course and do that course. It must be so hard. Do you know what I mean? Obviously, was it 4 or 5 years ago I went and did my PT course because I wanted to. Obviously, I've always enjoyed my fitness and stuff like that, and I used to go to the gym a lot. And when I did, it was what helped me through my mental health sometimes. So that's why I wanted to go and be a PT, help other people. And eventually I've managed to get myself starting my own gym and stuff like that and just building it up there. So now I've got my own business, do you know what I mean?
Is that a weight off the shoulders to know that there is something there for you to fall back on? Not even fall back on, just to kind of...
concentrate on, and aye, definitely. But as I say, running a business comes with its own stresses as well.
I can imagine.
But I've been a labourer, I've worked in everywhere, call centres, all. Do you know what I mean? I don't want to work for anyone else. I don't want people to be telling me what to do every day.
And you're doing something you love as well.
And so I can work for myself, I can pick my own hours. I'm just starting to get things up and running the way I want it to, do you know what I mean? Where I can take a wee step back and concentrate on the family, and obviously with the new babies here and stuff like that. I want to be able to give them like holidays and that every year. We can go on and just do things as a family. And doing this, you know what I mean? If I get my head down, stuck in it and do it properly, then I'll have that, do you know what I mean? But I couldn't go back to working, labouring and all that kind of stuff.
I did the call centre gig.
It's horrible, do you know what I mean?
8 calls a day shouting at you.
And stuff like that. So, I'm definitely kind of on the right track where I want to be now. But as I say, definitely for players finishing a career, if you've not got anything behind you, you don't want to go into management or something like that, then it can be very, very difficult because, as I say, having no life experience and other things other than playing football, it's hard.
There's an ongoing debate about what treatment should be offered to someone who is suffering with mental health issues, and it took a certain kind of individual to make a breakthrough with yourself. Can you tell me about that?
I think the treatment that's available with people are just your normal kind of person. It's not good enough. I remember being in the hospital after my last attempt at suicide and leaving, and I was told I'd be seen within 16, 18 weeks. And to leave somebody in that sort of state, for that length of time, never mind even a week, do you know what I mean? When somebody's at that point, they've tried to end their life.
So you hadn't just threatened to attempt suicide at this point, you'd actually tried to kill yourself and they'd asked you to wait 16 to 18 weeks? 16,
18 weeks, and it wasn't like I slit my throat, and I was told, my wife was pulled to the side and they were like, I don't know if he's going to make it or not, kind of thing. So it wasn't like I tried to do it for attention or I wanted somebody to find me, kind of thing. Do you know what I mean? I tried it, and then luckily now, do you know what I mean? I look back on it, it never came to anything. But I was pulled to the even the way we were kind of treated in the hospital. It was like I was put into an ENT ward. March, I was transferred from one hospital to another, put in an ENT ward, and nobody spoke to me for 3 days. I was left to shower with had my own clothes, belts. I was given all my pills to take myself when I had previous for overdose. And as I say, obviously I tried to hang myself before, and I was left in the shower with my belt and stuff like that, able to lock the doors myself. Do you know what I mean? I was given my own cutlery, knives, forks.
Did all that stuff cross your mind at the time?
Never crossed my mind. I never thought twice about it. But when my wife came in, do you know what I mean? She was like, "Why you left with all this kind of stuff? Like, why is nobody making sure you're taking your tablets when they're giving you them, kind of thing? Or why is nobody came and spoke to you to find out? Why is it taking 3 days? Do you know what I mean? Like, I was just in a normal ENT ward with people that had sore throats or sore ears, kind of thing, and I'm sitting there with stitches for one ear to the other, kind of thing. And it was that bad. Do you know what I mean? So, but luckily for me, obviously because I play football, the PFA were great in terms of getting me the help that I needed. Do you know what I mean? But it's not available to just your normal person. Do you know what I mean? So if I never played football, I might be here, I might not be here, kind of thing. And I can understand why people disengage, leave hospital, and they go and end their life. Do you know what I mean? Because to ask him to wait that length of time, and even when we sat down with the mental health nurse at the time, I remember her coming through and obviously she was David Cox. So I stand up to go, kind of thing. And if you can imagine, obviously I've just done this to my throat. The last thing I wanted to do is speak to MD. Do you know what I mean? So I was sitting with my wife at the time, and she stood up to go with me, and she's like, no, just him. And she's like, what do you mean? She's like, I just want to speak to him. She's like, but he's not going to tell you everything you need to know. And I've been there. Do you know what I mean? I know, like, he's not going to be forthcoming with any information that you need. So she was reluctant to speak to my wife, but eventually I did. And maybe 10, 15 minutes through it, like, obviously she's asked me questions and I'm sitting there and I'm kind of like, just head down. I was kind of mumbling, giving one-word answers, kind of thing, and then Nicola would maybe come in and say, like, this is what's happening. And eventually she took her books and she's went like that on the table, and she's like, this isn't going to work, and walked out. She's like, I need to hear it for him. She's like, but you're not understanding, it's not going to come for him. Do you know what I mean? Like, the last thing I want to do is open up after the way he's been feeling, and tell you these, like, horrible thoughts that he's had or how he's feeling at the moment, kind of thing. So.
And it's easier said than done to talk about it, isn't it?
Aye, no, definitely. And so she disappeared for 10 minutes or whatever and came back. She's like, let's start again. But you're getting nurses not walking by and looking in because she's obviously away telling them. Do you know what I mean? And it's just a whole bad. I mean, imagine I was there myself. Do you know what I mean? And Nicola wasn't there. Or people don't have that sort of support that I do. And I just think, like, there's so much more needs to be done about it.
You've told me about the famous cafe that made a bit of a breakthrough with you. What was different about her?
I went to the PFA, took me into Sam H, and they're like, we've got somebody that we send a lot of people to, and just give it a bash, see how it goes. Do you know what I mean? Like, we'll cover the cost, kind of thing, which again was great because I probably couldn't afford it at the time to go every week and do that kind of stuff. And just went and seen her, and she never tried to get anything out of me as such. She just spoke to me, and obviously, like, as we spoke about things, like, I would eventually just kind of speak about it off my own back, do you know what I mean? But not thinking about it, I was doing it, do you know what I mean? And then at the end of it, you're like, how did she kind of get that out of me? But it was great because she just sat there and listened, do you know what I mean? It was never, right, we're going to sit down and we're going to do this today, and we're going to work in that, and we're going to dig deep into it. It was none of that. It was just somebody to listen to, and she would just ask questions, even just your normal, nothing. Sometimes it was nothing to do with your mental health. It was just about, what'd you do at the weekend, kind of thing, and it would just build up that wee rapport with her. And
such a contrast to the impatience of the last person.
Aye, massive. And as I say, I've seen doctors and CPNs and stuff like that, and it's hard because you just feel like another number to them. It's just like as though they're ticking a box. Right, we've seen him, right, next one then, kind of thing. Do you know what I mean? And don't get me wrong, I'm not saying, they're all like that, and they're probably very understaffed and things, and the amount of people they need to deal with and stuff like that as well, but it's hard to take advice for somebody or speak to somebody who's never been through what you've been through. Do you know what I mean?
Is that a common problem then? Obviously, a lot of people in society are still very dismissive of mental health issues. Are we almost at a point where to understand that we need to experience it for ourselves?
No, I don't think that's always the case, because there's like when I was going through, just before I'd done my story in the paper, I was at Alloa at the time, left Alloa, and Jim McInally from Peterhead, he knew the ins and outs of things, he spoke to Stuart Lovell, and if it wasn't for the two of them, I might not be here, do you know what I mean? Stuart was on the phone every other day, and I don't know if he's ever dealt with anything like this. I don't think he has, but he wanted to understand, he wanted to help. And then the same with Jim McInally, he was unbelievable, honestly. One of the best guys you'd ever meet, and to a point that he took me into his own home and stuff like that, do you know what I mean? I stayed with him for a week, and he was just brilliant. And I know he always says to me, like, I've never had to deal with anything like this, but I want to help you, I want to understand, I want to try and I know up until now he's always tried to do a bit, and he does try to help boys no matter what they're going through, do you know what I mean? So I don't think it's a case of you need to go through it to understand it, you need to want to understand it. And so, as I say, some people can be selfish, some people maybe not want to go into that, do you know what I mean? They're just, well, it's not for me kind of thing, which is understandable, because why put yourself in that situation if you don't need to, kind of thing. But I think it was hard through football as well, because being in that dressing room environment where it's all fun and laughter, and the way I was feeling, the last place I wanted to go was into football, do you know what I mean?
How do you feel walking back into the dressing room after you've come out and done a story like that? Do you feel like everybody's looking at you? Was it tough to sort of settle back in, or?
No, it was.
The
boys were brilliant.
Yeah.
To be fair, the boys were really good, and I think the manager at the time, it was Jim, he had a word with him and just says, look, he's going to go and do this. And that was when I was at Forfar. That's when Gaffer had spoke to all the boys. He went and spoke to them, and to be fair, they all messaged me. They're like, brilliant, mate. I hope everything's fine. If you ever need to speak to anybody, then gives a message or that, you know where we are, kind of thing. And it's good, because I was always labelled as that wee angry guy. And don't get me wrong, like when my mental health does go downhill, I do get in that, because that's what I've always done, do you know what I mean? But I can now take steps to kind of deal with it, or I'll get in and say to the gaffer, look, I'm not feeling great today, whatever, I'm feeling a wee bit kind of anxious and it's getting me a wee bit angry, kind of thing, stuff like that, and they're like, just chill. Although, see, even just getting and speaking to them and then saying, right, what's happened, and speaking to them, it just makes me feel so much better. Do you know what I mean? And even some of the boys are like, they'll put their arm around me and be like, well, mate, just concentrate on the football, just do this or do that kind of thing. And it brings you back down to that, and you're like, do you know what, it's not that bad. I can deal with it. And then after the exercise, after the football, you feel a wee bit better.
And you spoke previously about getting abuse from fellow pros, other professionals, opposition players. Did that start after that newspaper article?
Aye, it did. I think maybe 3 or 4 weeks after I'd done the story and the record, I had a fan at Still in Albion shout, go and hang yourself and do it right this time.
And someone actually asked you the question, how does it feel to be the most hated footballer in Scotland? Help me understand that.
Like boys say things when you're on the park and stuff like that, do you know what I mean?
But do you think that's acceptable?
No,
Obviously,
I don't think it's
expect players to wind each other up and stuff,
Aye.
But do you think there's a line that you need to be wary of?
No, there's definitely a line, do you know what I mean? Like, boys will have banter or they'll say stuff to each other, but don't get personal. Do you know what I mean? And I would say that to MD. It's a different, even when boys are in the same team, but if you're having a bad game or things are not coming off you, like, have a go at each other. Get down boys' throats, do you know what I mean? But don't get personal, because it just creates an atmosphere in the dressing room that's not needed, kind of thing.
And it's risky, because you're an angry wee guy. You might do a Materazzi on someone, eh?
Nah, I think I'm misunderstood.
Misunderstood.
I'm very quiet away for the football.
Aye. Fair enough. Can I ask how many times you've tried to kill yourself?
4.
4. Is it scary to look back on those times and think, what if it went the way I'd wanted it to go?
No, definitely. As I say, I remember looking back at when I tried to hang myself, like, I was actually standing on the top of the loft hatch and I had the rope like around my neck, and my sister came through the front door and she was like 8 months pregnant at the time. And she just came upstairs and she was kind of like, what are you doing? And I was just, then obviously in tears and stuff like that, I've had enough kind of thing. And managed to obviously talk to me long enough, and the post and that get phoned at the time and stuff like that, and one of my mates come over and that kind of thing, and managed to kind of talk me down out of it. But that was scary, do you know what I mean? I don't like...
Scary even just to hear that, do you know what I mean?
Don't get me wrong, like, I think I would have went through it if nobody had come in, just the way I was feeling at the time. And again, some people might think that you would just do that to kind of get some attention or maybe that kind of thing, but I'm probably dead serious about it. And then my mum found me twice. I took like 70 tablets or something like that. And again, that was scary because I got took to the hospital, my face was blue and stuff like that, my lips were just, I felt horrendous. I got took into the hospital and got put in a drip and things like that, and the doctor came in and spoke to me, and he was actually like, I've had a friend that's done this, and it's like the worst way you could go. Like if things start to go the way you want them to, like you'll die in pain, that kind of thing.
Everything starts to fail.
Shut down and stuff like that. It'll be a horrible experience for you. And I just remember like they gave me stuff to bring everything back up. Like it was just spewing everywhere, being sick. It was horrible. So I'd done that kind of twice, kind of thing. And then obviously the one with the throat. But other than that, I've slit my wrists and stuff like that. But I think at the time that was a more kind of like a cry for help kind of thing. Just angry with myself and just found myself in a situation where, do you know what I mean? I think I remember punching something and it broke the glass. I just picked up and done that on my wrist.
When you look back on those times, does it motivate you now to maintain your mental health and, you know, keep you alive, basically?
Definitely. Something I always say is that I don't regret everything that's happened because it's made me who I am today. It's brought me where I am today. But it was always hard when my wee girl was a bit younger and stuff, and she'd be like, Daddy, what's that? Daddy, what's that? Do you know what I mean? And it's just I'm covered in scars, my chest, my arms, my wrists and stuff like that. And you had to kind of try and make up something, do you know what I mean?
There was one particular instant in the public eye that really opened my own eyes to depression and just how deep it runs, and that was the suicide of the Linkin Park frontman Chester Bennington. Yep. And the reason that hit me was because this was a guy who was so open, he spoke so much about mental health, and on the surface of things, this is a guy who had everything. He had the fame, the fortune, the beautiful family, the millions of adoring fans, and that wasn't enough to combat depression. What's your take on that?
I don't think any amount of money or fame or that in the world it's not going to help how you feel. Do you know what I mean? That's why when people say, oh, but you got to be depressed about you're a footballer, you must be making a fortune, you must be making this. Even if I was, it's not going to change the way I feel when I wake up every day or when I get into those bad situations. Do you know what I mean? It's hard to explain. You can't.
Because for me, these are the examples that will start to change people's perceptions, because it is dismissed by a lot of people in day-to-day life, and a lot of people are just like, well, just change it or man up or whatever. Yeah. But, you know, these examples, being a footballer or being a famous rock star, like, these things aren't enough to make depression okay or to make it go away, you know?
Yeah, no, definitely. But I do definitely think that it doesn't matter who you are, what you do, how much money you've got, how famous you are, kind of thing. If you feel like that, it's honestly it's so hard to try and describe to people. Do you know what I mean? I'm not saying that for me it's the worst place I've been in. There's people that are far worse off than I am. Do you know what I And people say, "Oh, you got to be depressed about it. Like, look at him." What do you know what I mean? But does it? And I don't mean it doesn't matter about them. But it doesn't matter what you think about them, because right now the worst I've felt, that's the worst place I've been in. Do you know what I mean? So it doesn't matter if you tell me he's 10 times worse than what you are. It's about how you feel at the time. Do you know what I mean? And you've seen it like with famous people like Robin Williams and stuff like that. All he's done was ever tried to make people laugh and things like that, but it was never enough for him. Do you know what I mean? And he sadly ended up doing committing suicide. So, and there's loads of people, but I don't think any of that. It shouldn't matter who you are or what kind of fortune it is you've got or anything.
If you're human, it can hit you, basically. That's it.
That's it. And at the end of the day, we're only human. Do you know what I mean? If it affects you, do you know what I mean? I think it'll affect everybody at some point in their life, but it affects people in different ways. Do you know what I mean? Some people can just go, "Oh, I'm feeling a wee bit kind of rubbish today," and they can shake it off. Do you know what I mean? But other people, not everybody's brain works the same.
It's been 4 years since your newspaper story. What prompted you to speak out at that time?
It was actually down to my manager at the time, Jim McInally. And I think Neil Lennon had actually not long done something similar. So Jim was like to me, like, have you never thought about like going to the papers and being open about it? Do you know what I mean? It might give people a different, they might view you differently, or do you know what I mean? And they might start to understand just obviously the way you are. Like, as I said, I was always just the angry wee guy in the park. And it was to do with obviously how I was feeling at the time and stuff like that. So he got in touch with the papers and stuff like that. We spoke to the PFA, and we got somebody in, and they decided, or not, they says to me, "We've got somebody who might be very good for you." Do you know what I mean? Other papers might just make it a bit, you might not enjoy it as much, like speaking to them, and it might be a bit hard for you. So they'd had somebody they'd worked with before, who was really good. So we done it in the PFA's office. And it was fine, absolutely fine. The guy was brand new.
Glad you did it.
Aye, definitely. And I never done it just for me, you know what I mean? I wanted to help other people. And see the amount of the response I got for the papers was unbelievable. Honestly, it was scary. The amount of people that had messaged me on Facebook and stuff like that saying you're an inspiration, you don't realise how many people you'll have helped. And even my wee cousin had messaged me a couple of weeks after it saying, "You'll never believe, like, I've just been at the doctor's, not feeling great." And I was speaking to the doctor and he's like, "You've not read the story about the football, like David Cox and blah, blah, blah." And obviously he not knowing that it was actually my cousin, and that's a way through like Edinburgh and stuff like that, do you know what I mean? So it was obviously, see if it helped one person, and I've kind of done my job, do you know what I mean?
How important is it that men in particular get over this bravado of, we don't show weakness, we don't open up, it's not manly to cry or whatever? Like, do we just need to get past that now? Is that just too old-fashioned, or like, is it unrealistic even?
No, I think guys just need to just again accept, you know what I mean? You're human. If you're feeling down and you feel you need a cry, then go for it. Do you know what I mean? It makes me feel better. My wife will tell you, I'm the most emotional guy you'll ever meet.
I cried at a home improvement show one time. Never seen a family happier in my entire life.
To be fair, we sit and we watch the DIY SOS, and I'm in tears all the time.
Really?
Like that, aye.
Are you just saying that to make me feel better?
I promise.
You're a guy that
promise.
Up.
And it was funny because we were sitting watching a wedding DVD last night. My mate and that was up, and we were going through the speeches, and my stepson Ross was, part of his speech was, you all think that David's a man's man and stuff like that, but you don't really know he's a big crybaby, and when we watch Super Vet and stuff like that, he's always
Super Vet. Mind that terrible Adam Sandler film Click with the remote control?
Aye.
I cried at that.
No, I've that. To be fair, I've cried that as well.
We need to watch a movie together sometime and just a pure tear fest.
No, but I think it's important. Don't be scared to show your emotions. Do you know what I mean? It's not.
Because the alternative might be that you sit and you cut your wrists,
Aye.
basically,
No,
and you'd rather cry, surely.
Whereas before, that's probably what I would have done. But now, like, they're just, maybe 2 years ago when we played for it was the last game of the season to win the league. We threw it away, you know what I mean? They stated me after that, you see the pictures on Facebook and that, and tears and getting cuddles after the other players and stuff like that, do you know what I mean? It doesn't bother me, do you know what I mean? Because what's the point in...
Did you used to show emotion like that when you were younger?
Nah, I would just build up, let it build up and get angry.
And do you find being more open to getting emotional or crying that actually is a bit of a healthier release as such?
No, definitely, because then other people around about you will just start to, I mean, they notice it, and they'll go out their way to make sure you're all right, or, I mean, and it just opens up that support for you.
What helps you maintain good mental health on a daily basis? Is there any little things that you do?
I think over the years, obviously, I've made myself more aware of what causes me to go into that bad place as such. I think my wife's been great for me, because she just kind of gets it. And she knows when I'm in a bad place, or she knows when I need time just to go and be myself. Whereas before I would just be 100 mile an hour, do you know what I mean? I'll never give myself a chance to settle. I can't sit on my backside for 5 minutes. Whereas now when I see myself, I feel myself getting tired. That really affects my mental health, so I'll make sure that I prioritise things and get a rest if I need it, do you know what I mean? I'll just make a day where I'm not doing anything at all, do you know what I mean?
So you're better at spotting the signs of, right, I need to chill out.
And I'll try and organise things, and if I'm doing, like, I'll try and spread them out as opposed to just filling it up when I can fill it up, do you know what I mean? Maybe the next day I'll get it done as soon as possible. I'm very, like, when I want something, I'm really bad for, like, I want it done now kind of thing, whereas I've learnt to kind of take a step back sometimes. As I say, sometimes I can go back to that, but as I say, Nicola's not along and tell me, like, just take a wee step back and just relax kind of thing. So that's probably what helps me through things a lot more, and I'm more aware of if I'm going to be feeling bad. Like, sometimes I think you just ride it, do you know what I mean? I'm like that. It's not going to last all day kind of thing, do you know what I mean? So, and if I speak to her about it, or anybody else at the football, and like I said earlier, do you know what I mean? It's just even getting that wee chance to speak about it makes you feel 10 times better.
What advice would you give to a 15-year-old David Cox?
To definitely go and try and speak to somebody, whether it be their parents, their friends, a teacher at school, and just let them know how they're feeling, because I know when I was that age and tried to hide it, you know what I mean, it made things a lot worse for me. And as you see now, like, you'll have seen stories in the past, even like the 3 young boys from Wishaw that sadly took their lives. When I read that, it took me back to where I was at that age, and it really hurt, because I remember how I felt then, and you wonder why. What is it they couldn't talk about? What is it they couldn't go and get help about? What did they feel that they had to hide? And again, a lot of it's down to the way we can live our lives now with social media and stuff like that as well, which wasn't really big for me when I was younger. But as I say, just for them at a young age now, if you're feeling down, and there's more and more people coming out and feeling like that at a younger age, then just speak to somebody with it. Don't be embarrassed. Don't be afraid of what anybody thinks, because it will help you in the long run.
Are you excited for the future?
Definitely. As I say, I've got plans what I want to do with things in here, do you know what I mean? We've just had the wee baby a while ago, and as I say, I'm in a good place at the moment, and I'll continue to keep doing the things that I'm doing that make me feel like that, so I'm very excited.
Can we meet the little one?
Definitely.
Aye. We bring her on?
Aye. Nicola?
Nicola's a bit camera shy, so we won't...
Won't bring the win up.
It was a real privilege to meet David. I can only hope that his story encourages others to open up about theirs. Footballers, human after all, who'd have thought it?
There we go, future superstar.
Yep, this is Charlotte Rose. We were adamant she was a boy, but clearly she's not. So
You don't look too happy about that.
no.
A child's a child, David.
I think we'd built up. We were adamant, even when we get the scans done and stuff like that. Every day said that it's a boy. And when she came out, do you know what I mean? I would never ever, I wouldn't change her for the world. I never thought twice about it. She's just the best thing that's happened to me.
And one day our old dad's going to be full of wisdom for her, all this life experience.
Yeah,
and all.
definitely. As I say, just we want to try and do the best we can for her and bring her up the best way we can as well.
Tell you one thing, she'll be taller than you in no time.
Well, nobody take on.